What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Dudes Who Bet Daily Show. I've got my buddy Magic with me. Magic, how we doing?
Good. I clearly not at home in the home studio. I'm at a Starbucks in Woodland Hills, California. I'll show you everybody else because I showed you there. A lovely sunny day here in Los Angeles. It's about 60 degrees. It's drizzling out there. It's a little breezy, but listen, I didn't want to miss this show. Didn't want to leave you alone because I know the Papa Dude's teaching the youth of America how to drive properly. Do me a favor, by the way. I should have said this to Papa Dude. It's like people in LA, when they learn to drive, nobody told them that they were supposed to learn how to use a turn signal. I want to pull my hair out driving out here. It's like nobody will ever use a turn signal. You'll just be following behind them and they just slam on the brakes and very slowly pull off. I'm like, couldn't give me a warning. We were going to do that. Anyways, happy to be here. I'm at a Starbucks. So today's show is presented by OG Handicappers and Starbucks. But I'm happy to be here, buddy.
And it's sponsored by Boeing. I can't see.
You're literally there.
Yeah, sponsored by Boeing. Yes, that's right. I got our boy Rags, who buys the daily track passes, sent me this. He works at Boeing, and so I wore it today. I love it. It's great, man. So we got a lot of sponsors.
Wow, that's I was looking at that. I was like Boeing, and then you were trying to show the logo. I'm like, you literally couldn't. It's like. I'm like, hey, I'm wearing a Wayne Gretzky captain jersey for the LA Kings. Can you see it? Look at this. It's pretty great.
I know. I just needed to do this. Pull the microphone down next time. Yeah.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's kick it off here. Let's get going. I know. Where Magic is at a Starbucks, like he said. So he's at
Woodland Hills, Doc.
Somebody do a wellness check on Mr. Somich in Vegas. I did hear from him, so I do know he's okay, but I don't think he's going to be around today. I bet tomorrow he'll be around, but who knows about today. All right, let's go Heat Nuggets to kick this thing off. We're going to go quick to this, and we're going to do some horse racing best bets, get you out of here. Quicker show today. All right, Heat and Nuggets. It's now 2-1 in the series. Nuggets, they dominated in Miami 2 nights ago. Can they tonight? -3.5 for the Nuggets again. Total of 210. What do you think, Magic?
The only playoff wins happening in the South Beach the rest of the playoff season. They're happening on the ice instead of the hard court. Yeah, I've got the Nuggets winning tonight. And then we go back to do they go back to Denver for Game 5, or is it going to stay here in Miami and then they finish up? I forget what basketball does.
You know, they always change it. I believe it goes back to Denver. That used to be 2-3-2. I think it's 2-2-1-1-1 now. I have not looked that far ahead. It's like something crazy is going on. Where they're going back to Denver for Game 5. So I'm with you. I think the Nugs get it done here pretty easily.
Yeah, and my best bet, we don't have to talk about it yet. We can if you want, but the Heat are having such a hard time trying to figure out how to stop Joker, how to stop Michael Porter Jr. They're going to leave Aaron Gordon all unprotected, and I think that's where my best bet will end up coming later. But they haven't showed, the Heat have not showed really the ability to sustain both Joker and Porter Jr. in the game. So. Yeah, it's hard for me to go against the Nuggets.
Yeah, I just think they're the better team. I think when you get right down to it, that is just the better team, period. So, I'm with you. I think the Nuggets get it done tonight as well. Not quite as confident as I was the other night because it's like, look, if the Heat are going to win one more game, it's this one. I still think the Nuggets get it done. So, I'm going to go Nuggets big in this spot. Again, all right, let's get to some horse racing here. Belmont updates. I felt like we needed to do this because there was so much, oh, my gosh, are we going to run? Are we not going to run type of stuff. We're running. The Belmont, at least for now, is all on. Today we are running at Belmont Park. They've got 11 great races. We're gonna cover one of them on the show here coming up after this segment. But just wanted to give a brief Belmont update. Everything's going well. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It looks like we're going to have racing. 3 really, really good cards. So that is the good news. Some bad news a bit. Fort Bragg spiked a fever. He's out of the Woody Stevens. I know everybody kind of on our channel was pretty high on him. What are your thoughts on the Woody Stevens now with Fort Bragg out?
Well, it kind of helps me because I used Fort Bragg in my ticket for the Magic Mike show, and I had gone 3 deep here, and I used General Jim in New York Thunder as well. And I liked that he scratched because it was one of those cases where I wasn't in love with using him. He's back with Baffert, which is a big plus going into this race. And one thing I'd mentioned on the Magic Mike show is that if it was the Pat Day 7 furlong instead of the Pat Day mile, he wins that race. He's ahead of General Jim with an 1/8 of a mile to go. And then just kind of General Jim wore him down and got past him late. But Baffert adding blinkers to him It's not a big move, that a plus move for Baffert. It's 20% angle, which is okay. Like a lot of trainers would love to have an angle. It's 20%. It's an 87-cent ROI when he does it, and that includes National Treasure putting them back on to win the Preakness. So you had a huge ROI boost out of that one. He's still only 20% doing it. As far as my ticket goes, I'm happy he's gone, so I can go use someone else there, or I can kind of mix things up a little bit. I wasn't going to use Arabian Lion before. I'm not using him now on my ticket. Arabian Lion, to me, is a horse that needs the lead. And Time Form, even with Fort Bragg being scratched, Time Form considers him the 8th fastest horse in a field of 12. And that's not good. And the horse on the rail is going to beat him to the lead unless New York Thunder falls right on his face. So I like the use there. It does make, as Michael Olsen is saying, it makes Gilmore an ex-Baffert, one of 2 ex-Bafferts in this race. Yeah. A lot more interesting because Irad's picking up the mount, and he's going to be coming from off the pace. So yeah, I think it makes it. As far as my ticket structure goes, I get to adjust something here, but it doesn't. This isn't a case of losing Forte out of the Derby, right? This is a horse that was like third or fourth morning line choice. You don't have to worry if you're a Baffert hater. You don't have. That's one less Baffert that could beat you in this race. So you've got that to worry about, but. It's still this sequence, like the 6th grade ones that they've got in a row. It's freaking incredible. Like this is like Breeders' Cup-esque. Like this is, to me, this is better than the Derby card, that Saturday Derby card, in terms of the talent that you have throughout every race. Lots of prices to be had.
I agree. It is just a fantastic 3 days now, and today's awesome, but this card is amazing. It does feel like a Breeders' Cup weekend that we're getting ready to go into officially now that it looks like we're going to run. I want to touch on the Arabian Lion thing because I see the Time Form situation as well. I think he's ahead of a lot of the horses they say he's going to be behind. That's my prediction in this race. I do think you're right. The one, no way. He's going to be ahead of the one's going to be ahead of Arabian Lion. I don't think there's any doubt. The 6, the 7, not sure. Fort Bragg now scratched. The 11 and the 13, give me Arabian Lion. I think he'll be ahead of him. But you're right in the sense that he does need the lead, and I don't think he's going to get it. I think he's going to be 3rd or so, and so we'll see if he can kind of pass horses for the first time in his life. That's going to be the big question mark. Can he do it? And Michael says, yeah, the 1 and the 13. I can see the 13, Drew's Gold. Yeah, he could be ahead of him, but I really don't think a horse like Victory Formation or Fort Warren, I don't think they're going to be ahead.
Drawing the 3 posts is going to help him a lot with being more forwardly placed. If he was drawn in, say, the 10 or 13, you're looking at that going, absolutely, he's like 4th or 5th going down the backstretch.
Yep. We'll see if he can sit and pounce. I do think it makes him more interesting with Fort Bragg out because I do think at this distance, Fort Bragg would have been really tough. Now, I do think it does make Arabian Lion a lot more prominent in this spot. All right, we'll see. All right, well, let's quickly talk about the Belmont Stakes in general right now. So far, no scratches. Nobody's jumping out of the race. Is there anybody? I know you covered this on Wednesday of the Magic Mike Show. Anybody now that jumps out to you more as you kind of go along, or are you just kind of locked and loaded still with who you've had in the originally?
I was Forte is my top pick. If you didn't catch the Magic Mike Show, I went Forte National Treasure here. The more I keep trying to figure out a way to work Hit Show onto my ticket. There's something about Hit Show that really appeals to me in this race. He's got kind of he's got the grinding style, but he has a little bit of a turn of foot to get past horses, which I think you definitely need that grinding ability because of how long not only the race is, but the stretch is at Belmont. But he also has shown the ability to pass horses. He'll reel them in and get by. I'm willing to forgive his effort in the Wood Memorial because everybody was playing bumper cars with him and just kind of threw him off. To get 5th in the Kentucky Derby after drawing the rail and having a lot of things go up against him in that spot was impressive. But don't forget, the horse that was 5th in the Kentucky Derby last year won the Belmont Stakes, and that was Mo Donegal. Hit Show's got the breeding that says that he should absolutely have no problem with this spot. He's got Candy Ride influence. He's got a Tappet mare influencing him. Manny Franco won this race with Tis the Law. I know it was the COVID-shortened 1 mile and 1/8 race, but Brad Cox knows how to win this race, so he's got that going for him. Yeah, I'm against Tappet Trice in here, and I'm not absolutely in love with Angel of Empire as much as I would love to be. And so that kind of lands me with Hit Show as my 3rd horse up.
Yeah, hit show definitely one at a price to use for sure. You mentioned Angel of Empire. I want you to go over it because they were actually making comments about it on Dudes Who Bet Sports yesterday about the something you talked about on the Magic Mike show that ultimately got you off Angel of Empire. I couldn't really make intelligent comments about it. I don't look at it. I don't follow it. But kind of explain because there was another. I can't remember. James Sills, I think was the name of the person that was talking about it. I could have butchered that name. Sorry if I did. But Angel of Empire. The big negative for him. Go ahead, you tell the people about that one.
You talking about the dosage index?
Yep.
Okay, so the dosage index is a formula that's used to try and figure out a horse what it will be best at in terms of going long versus going short. The higher the dosage number, the shorter the horse would ideally like to run. And it's based off of pedigree, and it's looking at several generations of sires and the influences through that aspect. So with that in mind, 17 of the last 18 Belmont Stakes winners had a dosage index no higher than 3. If you removed Tis the Law because it was a mile and an eighth race. So the only horse that was above a 3 was American Pharaoh. He was 4.33. That's a key number as well because you have to go all the way back to 1982 was the last time a Belmont winner had a dosage higher than 4.33. American Pharaoh, Tis the Law both had 4.33. Only 5 horses in the last 30 years of winners of this race had a dosage index that was even above a 3, and that's like 3.27, 3.58. Angel of Empire not only has the highest dosage index in this field, his dosage index is 9, which is like absolutely unheard of for a horse winning the Belmont. He's 3 times as less likely based off the dosage to win the race. You look at horses that have a good dosage index, it's not going to surprise you. It's Hit Show, who's got the Tapit influence. It's Red Route 1, who you watch how he runs. He clearly will we're going a mile and a half, right? We've seen that before. National Treasure has a low one. Oddly enough, the lowest one is Il Miracolo, a horse that we've all completely thrown out from winning this race. Tapit Shoes is the 3.0. He's got Tapit. Tapit Trice is the 3.92. It's still within that range of being one of 5 of the last 30 winners that would still be okay to hit this race. The only 2 horses that are complete throwouts are Archangelo, who I don't have much interest in using here, and Angel of Empire. And so seeing that, combined with the fact that Brad Cox is adding blinkers for the first time after saying, well, he's always trained well in blinkers, so we'll figure now in the Grade 1 Belmont Stakes, 1 mile and a half, now we're going to add blinkers. I was like, ew, those are not things that I like going for him right now.
That was a really good job of explaining it, by the way. I do like
Thank
that
you.
a lot. Look, my deal is, why does he have that high of a number? You look at this pedigree and you wouldn't think any kind of formula anywhere would make him have a number like that. What are your theories on that?
I did some research on it. I couldn't figure it out either. There's nothing really that screams that he shouldn't be able to do it. I mean, he's classic Empire. He has the Bernardini influence on the dam side through To Honor and Serve. It didn't make sense to me. And if you watch how he finished in the Arkansas Derby and how he finished in the Kentucky Derby, visually my eyes say he should be able to handle it. But I kept seeing people, and there were commenters that leading up to the Belmont that even in like the early previews of what we were doing, saying, oh, well, I don't like Angel of Empire because of the dosage. And so I was like, I keep seeing this dosage thing. I got to look into it. And then I laid out the facts. It blew my mind. He very well could get second. But the facts say that this horse will not win the Belmont, and that was enough for me.
Yeah. Well, Stephen made this point on Dudes Who Bet Sports yesterday. I'm glad you're here, Stephen. His theory is he has what's called a young pedigree, which he certainly does. Classic Empire, definitely a younger sire, and that doesn't get the proper stamina points on the dosage index. So that could be what it is. And again, I like I said on the show yesterday, I can't speak intelligently on this. I've never looked at it. To be quite honest, I'm never going to look at it. I don't know. Maybe if he runs 9th, I will actually look at it after this year. I shouldn't say that, but I'm more, and I said this yesterday as well, I'm more lean towards we got him in a mile and an eighth race, the quickest we possibly could. And since he's gone a mile and an eighth or longer, he's been exceptionally better than he's been when he was going shorter. And his best race of his career came at a mile and a quarter. And I went back and rewatched all 3 of those races. First of all, if you're going to rewatch the Risen Star, don't waste your time. You can't see shit. But I did. You can see the Arkansas Derby. You can see the Kentucky Derby. He certainly doesn't look like a horse that's going to hate a mile and a half. Now, Will his running style hate a mile and a half? Very possible, right? I think that's why they put the blinkers on. I think they want to get him a little bit closer. Not on the lead, I'm not saying that, but a little bit closer than, 7th or 8th in this race. So we'll see, but I don't, as I said what I just said, I don't necessarily dismiss everything you just said, Magic. That is a worry. Say he had a dosage of a 5. Okay, whatever. A 9? To me, that sounds like a horse that's a sprinter based on how you're describing some of these other things. So that's going to be really interesting. We'll see the index versus the eye test. That's going to be an interesting little story on that. One last question before we go. They put the blinkers on Angel of Empire. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I don't know. Kelly says, why didn't they go for the blinkers on Tapit Trice? He certainly seems like one that would need blinkers, right? I think it's a valid question. What's your theory on that one?
Why they didn't go for it, I'm not sure. Because, after the Bluegrass, we were saying on Magic Mike, and you guys might have as well, we're like, that is a horse that needs blinkers. He ran the whole stretch at Keeneland staring at you guys in the stands instead of focusing on what was going on. He should have beat Verifying by a lot more, theoretically, if he had his head on straight. But you don't want to add blinkers for the Kentucky Derby. I understand that. This is a spot where I'm like, why didn't you want to do that? You don't want the horse to be too far back. Like you were talking about the Angel of Empire, it will probably help him engage. The idea is to let him get a little bit more into it a little sooner. Luis Saez is a strong guy. He's got great arm definition. A mile and a half of pumping on Tapit Trice to get him to even want to run, that's a lot for that jockey, especially after a long day of racing at Belmont Park.
Yeah.
This is, if you were going to tell me that they were adding blinkers to one horse, one major contender for this race, you would assume it'd be Tapit Trice. You would hope it'd be Tapit Trice with the way that he runs. So, That being said, Pletcher's won this race before. He knows what he's doing. I'm sorry. Pletcher. He knows what he's doing. If you like Tapit Trice, you've got to trust in Tap, being Tade Pletcher. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it is concerning, Kelly. It's very concerning.
My theory on it is that the horse is just kind of goofy, and they might be worried. Sometimes if you got a horse, it's a little bit of a head case. This happened with Mr. Z actually a long time ago. They tried blinkers on him, and they thought this will fix it, and it actually made him worse because he couldn't see anything around him, and he got spooked, and he just quit. He was scared, and he just quit. Maybe they're worried about that a little bit. Maybe it's like, hey, we'll get through this part of it, and then in the summer, maybe we'll try it. I don't know, though. I don't know. I'm not in the barn. I have no idea. That's just a guess for me. So we'll see. All right, we got to move on, but a couple of good comments with the dosage. It is just one data point. Don't live or die by it. And I don't think you're living or die by it, but it is a data point. And with Mark, and this is my biggest thing, he's like, if he's got that high of a number, he probably wouldn't have handled the Derby distance, and he ran a good third. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think every point that people are making, they're not bad. It's just, it is something that makes you go, oh, shit, if you're betting him. So we'll see. All right, let's go to the race of the day. We're going to go race 10 today at Belmont Park. Like I said, really good card. It's the 2-mile Belmont Gold Cup Stakes. I always like this race. Grade 2 race, $250,000 purse, field of 13. No scratches in the race, Magic. So we get all 13. Who do you like in the 10th today at Belmont?
I love this race, and it's a fun one. You almost always have Europeans win this, it feels like, especially German horses. German horses are very well bred. They love to run long in Germany. And you have a race here that this is the only race in North America that's actually longer than an episode of Blinkers Off. I love the 7, Amazing Grace here. This is a German-bred horse coming in, making her third start since Christophe Clement got her. But she was running long, consistently long overseas, 1.5 miles, mile 3/8, mile 5/16, mile 5. She always shows up with a huge effort. She's been, until last time out in the Sheepshead Bay, here at Belmont going mile 3/8. She's been in the money in 14 of her 16 career starts. Now, last time out, it didn't go so well. She was in a 4-horse field, and she comes from the rear. Aaron, do horses coming from the rear in a 4-horse field going long on turf have a shot? No, they do not. Scratch that one out. Clement said he was aiming for this race for her because the longer the better for her. And again, that German breeding, the protectionist being the sire, I think is going to be a huge plus for her. Plenty of horses to like in here, but if you're getting 6-1 on a mare, when you've got Siskany, who's going to take a ton of money for Appleby, and don't forget also, because she is a mare, she's carrying the lowest weight in the field, going 2 miles. That absolutely matters. She's going to be carrying 5 pounds fewer than Siskany. That's a big deal to me. So Rosario, just keep her at the back, navigate a good trip to get home there. 6-1 on Amazing Grace. That's my pick.
I love it. I think it's a 3-horse race, honestly, and I think that's one of them. The 7 is definitely one of them that I think is going to be really tough. I like the 11 High Definition as well. Horse coming in from overseas for Joseph O'Brien, who's really good trainer, obviously there, and been running in really long races. On top, though, I did go Siskany, the 2-horse. I look at the race 2 back in Maidan, a 2-mile race where Broom beat this horse by a neck. I think if Broom's in this field, Broom would be my top choice pretty easily. So I look at that effort and think, yeah, this horse is pretty darn good. The race before that, won at 1 3/4 miles. Last time out, faced really good company at 1 3/4 miles, got 5th, only beaten 3. I just feel like at 2 miles, this is the horse. I think Appleby with Buick, I think that's huge. When Buick comes over to ride, I think that's a really, really good sign. He's on this one. He's on one tomorrow that we'll talk about on tomorrow's show. So Siskany for me on top. But look, I'm using the 7. I'm using the 11. I'll probably be in a situation, if I'm live to a lot, rooting for the 7 and 11 to get those better prices. But I do think the 2's the best horse in this race. This is going to be a hell of a lot of fun. I can't wait for this card. It's going to be great watching this thing. I'm going to go out in the deck and watch this thing and have a blast today. So yeah, going to be good.
Before you move on, real quick, I forget who it was. Someone asked for our best bets for Belmont today. Lori Switzer, there it is. Lori, I almost made my best bet race 6 today at Belmont. Number 2, Rotney, drew the rail as speed of the speed, going to 6 furlong allowance. The horse has been superb for Mike Maker. Loves the 6 furlong distance as well. So Rotney, he's 3-1 on the morning line. Probably be bet down a little bit than that, but I really like that horse. Did you put Rotney on top in the 6th race today?
Yeah, I do like Rotney. I think that is a very good pick as well. Look, it's funny because I was going to that. I was definitely going to that right after you get done, so it's hilarious that you read my thoughts there. I like Rotney. I use Rotney. I do like the 6 Admonson a lot in that race as well. I read Ortiz aboard for the 2nd straight race, dropping out of a state-bred stakes race where I thought the horse ran pretty good. I think if the 2 falters, the 6 could be the horse to get them. 8-1 on the morning line. If we get anything around that, I think that's worth a look as well. But no, Rotney's not a bad pick whatsoever. Look, Captain Obvious, I think the number 1 in Italian in the 4th race is going to be awfully tough to beat. Obviously, one of our best horses, male or female, on the turf in the country. So I think she'll be tough, but she does have to hold off Spinderella. But, I think she will be tough there. And then with the Moonlight scratched out of the New York Stakes, which makes More Like Goddess look pretty darn tough. But again, those are Captain Obvious picks, big favorites. I get it if you want to try to beat them, but I don't know. I thought With the Moonlight could beat More Like Goddess a little bit, or had a shot, but when she scratched, I think More Like Goddess looks pretty tough. So those are kind of a couple there. Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be so much fun today. I can't wait for it. So anyway, any final thoughts before we go to the best bets here?
I'm jamming out to Muse. Ever since Kevin brought up that he could hear it, I got Muse playing in the back. This Starbucks, I've got to say, the best outdoor soundtrack I've ever been to for any coffee shop or anywhere. It's just incredible here. Every song, like Aaron and I were talking 20 minutes before the show started. Every song's been a banger. It's been great.
It's been awesome. Yeah. Real quick, McCulloch, I think does have a shot at this distance. She really likes it. I think market segmentation also for Chad Brown. This horse has been excellent. I think she's got a shot as well. May have used those 2 in a little bit of a saver, hit a few pick 3s and daily doubles. So it's a little spoiler alert there. All right, let's go to the best bets and let's get you out of here. All right, Magic, we'll go to yours. You hinted on it. Tell us who you like today.
Yeah, Aaron Gordon, and I misspoke earlier. I was talking about Michael Porter Jr. Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray have been absolutely on fire at twin triple doubles for the Nuggets. They're really, really solid. For the Heat to try and have a chance in Game 4, they've got to figure out a way to really isolate and take one of those 2 guys out. Who does that benefit? It benefits Aaron Gordon, a guy who had he's been very quiet. I picked him to go over points in a best bet. It might have been Game 1. It might have been last series for the Nuggets. And I knew I should have done points plus assists because that's a lot of times where he ends up kind of making his value. Last game on Wednesday, he had 11 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. This guy you can't guard everybody like superbly well if you're the Miami Heat. Aaron Gordon's a guy who kind of gets left alone a lot. And if a lot of projections are looking at having 14, 15, 16 points. I don't know that that's necessarily what he's able to do, but the fact that he's going to be able to assist, he's averaging 2.5 assists, he's averaging 12.5 points. I think that this is a great angle to play here because, again, the Heat are going to try and take out Jokic or Murray or try and shut them down as much as they can, and it leaves guys like Aaron Gordon open to try and get some points, some assists. We're not asking for much. We're asking for 14.5 total between points and assists. It's I'll fix the banner there because that's the key part too. It's not just the points; it's the points and assists.
Oh, I didn't even see that on there. I'm sorry, Magic. Man.
Oh, that's okay.
Well,
I realized I was sitting here saying all these things, and I looked and it said 14.5 points. I was like, no, that's
a lock
for him. So
that's a lock. Can't lose.
And it's minus 115. It was when I placed the bet this morning. It was minus 115. I was like, oh, okay, I'll take that.
Well, there you go. All right. Well, points and assists. Sorry, I wrote that wrong. We'll have to correct the big banner as well when we put it up. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be fun to watch this game tonight. Now we can watch just Aaron Gordon, and that's all we have to care about, right? So that's what we'll do. All right. I'll go through mine real quick. We've got Papa Dude and Somich as well, so that's good. I'll just go quick here. Yankees, Red Sox. I went the Yankees minus half run first 5 innings tonight, plus 100. Look, they got Cole on the mound. He's really, really tough. He pitches really, really tough against the Red Sox. Red Sox have Whitlock on the mound, pretty darn average. And so I just think the Yankees get a couple of runs early. I think Cole shuts the door. So I'm going to go Yankees minus that half run first 5 innings tonight, plus 100. Try to get that home. All right, Somich is going Twins plus 115. They do have the pitching matchup, but I'm telling you what, these Twins can't hit, Magic. That is my biggest worry about this team. What do you think about this best bet?
You nailed it. They can't hit. Now, if it ends up being a pitching duel, you hope neither one of these teams will be able to hit that much. But, this is a tough one. It's hard for me to get behind this. But I also thought for sure that I was a lock with the Orioles and Brewers, and then the Brewers pitching staff, the bullpen completely blew up last night. So,
well, I mean, let's talk
about that one.
I don't know if you want to revisit that one, but I had the Rockies plus 155 as the best bet. They blow it in the 9th. They blow a save. I also, by the way, had the Tigers at plus 210. They blew a save. It was a rough night for baseball for me. That was a plus 155 and a plus 210. Could have been a huge night. It ended up being just an okay night. It could have been huge. But anyway, that
I like the under a lot. Sorry, I like the under a lot in this game. Under is 8.5 right now for Twins Blue Jays. I think that'd be a good play as well.
Yes, I like the under a lot in that one. I also like the under in the Cleveland and Houston game. I think that's going to go under as well. 2 pretty good pitchers there. But we'll see. Hopefully the Twins can get some hits tonight. They have not been able to do it. Yankees, Orioles, money line parlay for Papa Dude. I think we could have guessed this one. The Yankees here at minus 155 and the Orioles playing Kansas City tonight at minus 190. Parlay them together for plus 142. So Papa Dude's parlays are back. That's what he's looking at. I mean, it's a logical one, but they usually always are, right? We'll see what happens.
I like the Orioles win a lot. Tyler Wells on the mound. Yankees, Red Sox, and Garrett Cole's pitching for the Yankees. It's when you get a rivalry games like that, it always makes me a little nervous. Just relying on them when they're minus 150, but they should win it. Yeah,
Michael's bragging on his Panthers and Phillies parlay. Yeah, that's pretty fortunate to get those two favorites home.
Yeah,
especially the Panthers. They looked toast. So yeah, good job though. Got it home. That's a nice one for Michael last night. All right, and it doesn't matter how you win. You just have to win them, and you got them. All right. So here we go. Here's the best bets here. Somich going Twins plus 115. Aaron Gordon over 14.5 points and assists. Let me say it again, and assists for Magic. Misread that this morning when he sent it to me. I've got the Yankees first 5, and Papa Dude's got the Yanks Orioles plus 142. Magic, we talked about it. Minus 500. 0-5. And we had 3 of the 5 games absolutely won and lost them. So horrific luck. However, plus $312 for the year still. So we're still in good shape. And listen, it can't go any worse luck-wise than it did yesterday. So I got a feeling we're going to do better today. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Magic, thanks for joining us from Starbucks. All right, guys, we will see you right back here live on the channel in a few hours covering those last couple of races at Belmont Park. See you guys.